Hello, welcome back to the Odds Now YouTube channel, where it's been a little bit like London buses here on this YouTube channel this week. We've not posted anything for a while, and now we've got two videos for you in the space of 2 days. If you haven't already, go and check out our World Match Play preview, which is up on the channel. But here today, we're here to talk boxing because the dart is not the only thing happening on Saturday. There's a big heavyweight fight on Saturday night, and heavyweight boxing, there's nothing like that to bring all the eyes on the prize. Is that everybody loves a good heavyweight fight, and we've got a cracker here. It is Oleksandr Usyk, the great, undefeated Ukrainian, and he is chasing undisputed status once again as he fights Britain's rejuvenated Daniel Dubois, who has really responded well to his loss to Usyk when they met in 2023 in Poland. He has since come back in emphatic style with wins over Jarrell Miller, Filip Hrgovic, and then who can forget that amazing domination of Anthony Joshua, and it's earned him his second crack at Usyk, and it looks a tantalizing prospect. I'm delighted to be joined by Boxing Now's Aky Karim, bit of a celebrity status, this man. Emptying boxers into the ring on many of DAZN's boxing cards, and when he's not doing that, he's on the road chasing interviews with all of boxing's big names for our sister channel, Boxing Now. Aky, great to have you in, mate. How are you doing?
Nice to see you, mate. Thanks for that introduction. I don't know if I deserve it, but I appreciate it.
You'll always get it from me, you know that. Yeah, this man is a big deal, and he is the man to have with us to discuss such a massive fight. Really looking forward to this one, Aky. It's interesting because obviously we've had this first fight between the two, but I think the feeling among many people is that Dubois is a very different boxer from what he was the first time, particularly in terms of confidence and self-belief. He's had that emphatic win over Joshua, but you have got Usyk, who every time he fights a big British heavyweight, he seems to just get the job done, doesn't he? 2 wins over Tyson Fury, 2 wins over Anthony Joshua, looking for a second win over Daniel Dubois. I suppose we should have a bit of chat about the fight before we get into the betting side of things. But for anybody who is interested in the betting odds, they're going to be running along the bottom of your screen throughout the remainder of this video, and we will touch on them later in the video. But for now, Aky, just picking your brains and talking boxing, I thought first thing I wanted to kind of put to you, is Oleksandr Usyk simply just unbeatable among this current crop of fighters? Because as well as Tyson Fury boxed against him, the general feeling was that it was a convincing victory, certainly the second time round. Do any of the current crop have what it takes to beat the Usyk puzzle?
Well, look, he's a master technician, Usyk, but nobody is unbeatable in boxing. And especially not in the heavyweight division. I mean, we've seen some fighters. It's very rare that a fighter will retire undefeated. Obviously, in the recent, generations, we've seen fighters like Floyd Mayweather. Going back, we've seen the likes of Calzaghe. Going back, you have to go back a long way before then to the likes of Rocky Marciano. But nobody's unbeatable. And on their day, you're going to make Usyk a strong favourite against anybody in this current crop because he's proved it time and time again. But in this division, you just don't know. And with Dubois' punching power, with the controversy of the last fight, you wouldn't rule him out altogether. You've also got to bear in mind that Usyk has had close-ish fights with Fury, even though I personally believe Usyk won comfortably, but they were close-ish. There was a lot of debate about them. If you go back into his cruiserweight history, he had a very, very close fight with Bradis. So he's not infallible, but he's the closest thing in the boxing world, that's for sure.
Yeah, that's certainly how it feels to me. Just bringing those winner odds up onto your screen. Usyk a 4-11 fav, Dubois out at 3-1. Just giving some percentage terms to that, it's roughly a 75% chance given to Oleksandr Usyk winning this fight, 25% chance for Daniel Dubois. Let's talk a little bit about Dubois then, because as we touched on, these two met a couple of years ago in Poland. It was a little bit of a controversial fight. I don't think many actual boxing fans saw it as all that controversial, but just for anyone that didn't watch that, Dubois had Usyk down early in the fight. It was ruled a low blow. Usyk quite rightly took his 3 or 4 minutes recovery time, as you get for a low blow, came back, recovered, got on top, stopped him in round 9. That at the time, that felt like a decent showing from Daniel Dubois. He's gone on to build on that. Just how much do you think he has improved since that last meeting?
I think he's definitely improved. That particular fight, I think that fight was controversial, actually. I think it was controversial because there's only one person on the planet who knows if it was a low blow or not, and that's Usyk. He's the only person that really knows for certain he felt the shot. It certainly has helped set this fight up, because otherwise there'd be no storyline. Because as he correctly said, Usyk then went on to dominate Dubois after that shot. Me personally, I felt like Usyk is always in control of all of his fights. If the referee had started counting, I believe he would have got up. But it does show that Daniel Dubois, yeah, for his age, and given the magnitude of the fight, given the fact he went to Poland, um, with a very pro Usyk crowd, I thought he did okay. He did pretty well. Since that fight, in answer to your question, has he improved? Yes, he has improved. Since that fight, he's been in with two fighters who he perhaps wasn't supposed to be. I don't think he was favoured to beat Jarrell Miller straight after the Usyk fight. He did well. He stopped him in the last round. Filip Hrgovic, on paper, is supposed to beat the guy. He's got a deep amateur pedigree. But Daniel peppered him and stopped him. And then, of course, you got the Joshua fight. He destroyed Joshua. He completely took Joshua out. So with Daniel, and I will say I have known Daniel since he's quite young. I actually did his first professional interview when he was about 18 or 19. He has improved. And one thing with Daniel is, if you get inside his head and you build this confidence up, he becomes very dangerous. And I believe that is where he's at now. I believe he is going to be at his most confident ever, coming out of 3 good wins since the Usyk loss. So in answer to your question, has he improved? He has improved. He's not going to improve dramatically in terms of the physical tools he's got, but mentally, and that's the big key for him, he will have improved significantly.
Yeah, and I think Daniel, by his own admission, he's not one of these sort of like master talkers on the microphone and stuff. He tends to let his fighting do the talking, and he certainly did that against Joshua. Just quickly before we move on there, Joshua fight, do you read that as really impressive by Daniel, or do you, without going too far off course here, was that just the decline in Anthony Joshua that was there to be taken advantage of? Because I think probably a lot of people would point to that as well.
Yeah, probably both. Joshua didn't exist. I mean, look, he's done a lot for British boxing, Joshua, so it's hard to knock him too much. But in that particular fight, he didn't exhibit any defense. And in the heavyweight division, if you don't exhibit any defense whatsoever, you're going to lose and you're going to get stopped. So that, it was probably both. Some improvements mentally from Dubois and some decline from Joshua.
Okay, so as we touched on, they have fought before. We talked about that fight being slightly controversial. What I wonder is now, Dubois coming into this fight, obviously he had quite what seemed to me a clear game plan last time round. Does he have to change that? What does he have to do differently? I feel a lot of people think he has to impose himself early, not let Usyk settle. But that is easier said than done. We've seen a lot of people try and do that. And Usyk, like you say, very rarely looks like he's not in control of a fight at all times. So what does he have to do differently, Daniel?
He has to take centre of the ring and control the fight early, as you said. But as you also said, that is easier said than done. The blueprint, I suppose, they should try and follow is the Chisora fight. Now, Chisora is very crude and rugged, but he did probably give Usyk his toughest night, barring the first fight with Fury, probably the toughest fight he'd had, purely because of his physicality and the pressure he exerted. Again, Usyk, that was one of Usyk's earlier fights into the heavyweight division. Since then, he's grown in size himself. It's a lot harder to do. He is a master technician. He is defensively aware. His footwork's ridiculously good. So it's going to be so hard. But the blueprint, you cannot stand off and box Usyk. Joshua tried it. Fury tried it. They can't do it. He's too good. So yes, getting on the front foot, making it ugly, making it a dogfight is probably his best chance.
Okay, so let's actually dive into what you think is going to happen come Saturday night, because as I say, Usyk given around a 75% chance of success here by the bookmakers. Do you feel that's fair? Are you strongly expecting a Usyk win? And are we looking at a decision here? Are we looking at an early stoppage? How you see it going?
I think it's fair, and based on what Usyk has done in his career. Not you have to also remember what Usyk did at cruiserweight. He's gone on a run. He beat Marco Huck, Bradis, Gassiev, Bellew, all in a row. Stepped up to heavyweight. He beat our best. He'd made a mockery of our best, right? So twice, actually. They couldn't beat him the first time, so they got themselves a rematch to try and do it the second time. They couldn't beat him. This guy is phenomenal. And the only thing that I question is he's now 38, I believe, 37, 38. The only thing I question is, will he have lost half a step? He's also looks to have put on size. Will he come in heavier? So if he's coming in heavier and older, that may slow him up a half step. which might enable Daniel Dubois to get through the fight. I don't see anyone being able to beat Usyk, because if you land one shot, he's got a good chin. It's very hard to land 2 or 3 because he's got that good range of motion. But I do expect him to win, and I expect him to win on points this time round. I think Dubois improved significantly enough mentally for him to get through the 12. Would I be surprised if Usyk stops him? No. Would I be surprised if Daniel stops Usyk? Yes, I'd be surprised, but it's not impossible. So, given all factors, I'd probably personally, if I was betting on this, go for an Usyk's point win.
Okay, then. So you can get 2-1 on Oleksandr Usyk to win on the cards. It's quite a tight market, to be honest. He's 7-4 for the stoppage, 2-1 for the decision. So people struggling to call quite how he'll win. There is a lot of market confidence behind him getting the win there. Well, really enjoyed running through there with you, Aky. We were talking off camera about the undercard. It's probably not the strongest undercard we've seen this year, but there are a lot of British fighters on there, and I know you know a lot of the guys. So do you want to walk us through a couple of the undercard fights and maybe the ones to watch for anyone that wants to tune in early?
Yeah, well, I'll just walk you through all of it because there's not very many fights on, and you're right. It's not the strongest undercard I've ever seen. The reason is because they have to pay Usyk and Dubois such ridiculous money these days. They've probably got about £12.50 left on the undercard. So, but I know all the lads actually on the undercard, so I'll run you through them very quickly. You've got Solomon Dakers in there against Vladislav Sirenko in a heavyweight bout. This is a tough fight for Solomon Dakers. Solomon Dakers was wiped out by David Adelaide. This is a tough one to come back to. Sirenko 22-0, unbeaten. He has a huge knockout percentage, and all the odds suggest he's going to get knocked out in this fight. I hope he doesn't, because I always go for the English lads, but it's a tough fight. That you've got Adam Hamed.
Just while you're there, Sirenko is 1-5 to win that one, with Dakers all the way out at 6-1. So yeah, you're on the money there.
Right, okay. And I don't know anything about betting, so there we go. It proves I know a little bit about boxing.
You're the boxing man, I'm the betting man. Don't worry.
We've got Adam Hamed, the son of Nassim Hamed, who's one of my legends growing up. His dad was amazing. Adam, he trains with Jamie Moore. I've watched him train. He's very good himself. They've matched him very soft in this fight. To cut a long story short, he's in there with Ezekiel Gregors, who has lost 24 fights. He's been stopped a few times. He's never knocked anyone out himself, and he's going to lose that fight against Adam Hamed. He will lose that fight.
He will. Some books are 1 to 100, barely taking a penny on it. So, right, you are. You can see what I mean about the lack of depth on this undercard. I mean, we have got a better one coming up, but
there are 2 good fights on this undercard. I'll get to them shortly. The next fight, you got James Francis, friend of mine, actually boxed under the Black Flash banner, who I do a lot of work with, and he's in there in a tough fight against Lasha Guruli. Now, Lasha Guruli is only 1-0 as a professional, but he has got some serious pedigree, fighting on the IBA cards and also fighting as an amateur. It's so tough because I obviously want James to win because I know him well, but that is a tough fight for him, and your head has to go with Lasha Guruli, although obviously my heart is going for a James Francis win. I don't know what the odds are, but I'm assuming Lasha Guruli is a favourite.
Lasha Guruli is a big fav, so we'll hope for the upset there for your sake.
For my sake, I can't pick against James, but my head is saying Lasha Guruli is obviously going to win that fight. Now we come to the fight, which I think is a really good fight on the undercard. We've got Daniel Lapan against Louis Edmondson. That's for the IBF Intercontinental Light Heavyweight title. Now, Louis Edmondson actually used to be managed by Billy Joel Saunders. And in the past, Billy Joel Saunders has told me personally he believes Louis Edmondson's a real deal. Since then, he's not lost a fight. He's found it hard to get big fights at light heavyweight because no one wants to fight him because of his style. Very awkward, very technical. And he's in there with somebody who's got a similar style to himself in Daniel Lapan. Daniel Lapan, 11-0, 4 knockouts. He's from the Ukraine. He gets on the undercards because he's friends with Usyk. He's got a very similar style, actually. Technical, good boxer. Can do it all, really. This is going to be a good fight, but it's going to be technical. So don't expect it to go early. But I think Daniel Lapan wins, but don't be surprised if it's a tougher fight than most people expect.
Okay, that's an interesting one then. Yeah, so as you see the odds on your screen there, Lapan is 3 to 10. So he's a strong favourite, but Edmondson not a no-hope, a forlorn chance by any stretch, 4 to 1, giving him a 20% chance of coming through it. And you're talking about maybe going deep there. I mean, is it points? Is it going all the way out of the question? Because to go the distance is you know, it's expected to go the distance by the books. Is that how you see it as well?
Yeah, I do. I see it going the distance and Lapham winning. Louis Edmondson's very good defensively. He's not somebody who's just going to throw caution to the wind. And someone who throws caution to the wind against someone like a Lapham with the skill will get stopped. Louis not like that. He's very, very defensive minded. So I can see it going the distance. Yeah.
Okay, well, Lapham by decision is 4-5 there, so just under double your money. So that is maybe one of interest from the undercard. We've still got a little bit more on this undercard as well, including Lawrence Okolie, familiar name for many, I'm sure. So you can talk us through the rest of that if you will, Aky.
Yeah. Now this fight, I mean, I know Kevin Lorena's got some pedigree. He's been in there with Dubois. He's got a decent record, 31 wins to only 3 losses. But personally, I think Lawrence Okolie is going to do the business in style and maybe early in this fight. I don't know about the odds or anything like that. But me personally, looking at this, looking at the way Okolie does stop fighters, he's got a reputation of being a boring fighter. But you know, when he's on top, he's knocking people out. I don't actually think he's as boring as most people think. 21 wins, 16 of them by knockout. You know, he's gone in there and won the Bridgerweight title in a round, and he does have some early stoppages on his resume. I think he's going to stop Kevin Lorena, and I think he'll stop him inside 6 rounds. But that might be the wild card prediction for the night.
Okay, let's go for it then. Aky's long shot. Okolie to win in rounds 1 to 6. He's 4-1. Yeah, it's a little bit tighter than you were expecting, isn't it? On the betting, Aky got faith in Okolie to get the job done there, and we'll have that 4-1 about the early stoppage win for the Brit. Okay, so I think that about wraps us up, Aky. I mean, look, one final thing that I want to put to you just before we round this video off. We're all kind of expecting Usyk to win this. If he does win it, where does he go next? Do you see retirement for Usyk? Because a lot of people are speculating that could be on the cards. And also, what would a loss do for Daniel Dubois? Because he's done so well to rebuild. Is he still going to be at the top table if he loses this?
Okay, a loss for Daniel Dubois will not do much to send him backwards because he's expected to lose the fight. If he loses this fight, there's loads of options for him. There's literally Joshua rematch. There's Joe Parker, the fight which was supposed to happen this time round. You've got the likes of Tyson Fury as a wild card. You've got fighters coming up like Moses Atama. You've got old guard like Dillian White. You know, Chisora. I'll even throw Hughie Fury in the mix. You've got so many options for him. If Usyk wins, should he retire? For me personally, he should retire. He's got nothing to prove. He's beaten everybody. He's made a mockery of the cruiserweight and the heavyweight division. He's gone right through them. He's beaten everybody. He's the man. Will he retire? No. And the reason why he won't retire is because he's probably getting about 50 to 100 million per fight. He's not going to retire. No. He'll retire when Turki Al-Sheikh, His Excellency, stops putting a massive...
When he retires.
When he retires, Usyk retires. Yes, exactly.
You can't blame these guys, can you? It's good work if you could get it. Look, Aky, it's been a pleasure running through things with you. Just to recap then, we talked in detail about the main fight, and Aky is going for Oleksandr Usyk to win it, but he's giving Daniel Dubois a chance of making it very competitive. The decision going to the cards for Usyk is Aky's top tip at 2-1. We ran through the undercard as well, and there is a long shot he likes on there as well, Lawrence Okolie, to get an early stoppage in his fight. That is 4-1 for Okolie to win in rounds 1 to 6. Well, hope you enjoyed that preview. Let us know who you're backing this weekend for Usyk Dubois and any undercard action you might fancy. I'm sure we'll be back very soon to preview another big card with Aky. If you're not already subscribed to the Odds Now YouTube channel, please do hit that subscribe button. We've got a lot of exciting things coming, including a brand new website that is just days away. So please stick around and we'll see you again very soon. Thanks for watching.